My name's Alex Williams. I'm the head of animation at Escape Studios and also the founder of the online animation school Animation Apprentice. And this is a very short video to talk about the economics of making independent animated films, animated short films. And this came up because a student or a prospective student recently asked me whether there was a market for short films. Could you actually make a living doing short animated films? And this particular student is living and working in Argentina, where apparently the animation industry is relatively undeveloped and there aren't a lot of opportunities out there in the business. And so he was asking me, well, what about short film making? You know, can you actually make short films and make a living at it? And so I thought I would just record a very brief video to talk about the economics of short films. And in other videos, I'll talk about a little bit more about the economics of feature films and also TV series, because it's an interesting subject. And obviously, you know, it is possible to make a living in the animation industry other than by having a job. You know, there are many new opportunities out there, particularly at YouTube. I have a student at Escape Studios, Charlotte Gimbard. You should watch the interview with her where she talks about the economics of YouTube and how she actually makes a living by creating animations, basically music videos with a Minecraft theme, and she monetizes those at YouTube. And actually makes rather good living doing it. But so it's important to realize that in the modern economy, there are ways of making a living in the industry other than by just having a job and somebody paying your salary. However, and it's a big but, unfortunately, making short films isn't really one of them. So the problem with short films is that there isn't really any way, particularly other than perhaps at YouTube, of monetizing short filmmaking. And the real problem is, imagine or think to yourself, when was the last time that you paid to watch a short film? And the answer is probably never. And therein lies the problem. Whereas people will pay money to watch a feature film, you know, they'll actually pay to go, in theory at least, lockdown permitting, they'll pay £10 to go and watch a feature film in a movie theatre. And so that is the basis for the economic structure that underpins it, and that's how studios get paid. And of course in TV it's all based on advertising, and YouTube is a similar business model, so you don't pay to watch the stuff, but the advertisers make money or pay to advertise their products, and so you can monetize that. And in the case of short films, unless you can get enough eyes on them at YouTube, which is very, very difficult, then there really isn't an economic system that underpins that. That isn't to say that you shouldn't make short animated films. It's a really good idea to make a short animated film. I mean, there are lots of benefits from it, as long as you make one that is actually short. The most common mistake people make is to be far too ambitious, make it much too long, to try and get lots of other people involved, make it a group project, and then it becomes unwieldy and people let you down and the thing never gets made. So if you're going to make it short, sweet, rely mostly, if you can, on your own resources, although of course get other people to help you where you need it, but try and make it doable so that you can get the thing out in a relatively short period of time. But don't think that you're going to make a lot of money doing it, because that is very, very difficult. Now, you know, what you're really learning when you make a short animated film is you're learning the art of filmmaking. That's what you're really doing. You're understanding story, narrative structure, you're understanding editing, cutting, how to cut from one shot to another, which is not a particularly easy thing to do, and it's the kind of thing that only really comes with experience. You know, what is an establishing shot? What is a close-up? What is a mid-shot? How do the shots flow? How does the musical rhythm of the piece work? How do you work with music and sound design? How do you layer in sound effects to get a rich sound? How do you add music? When do you go to a composer? Should you go to a composer? Should you use stock music? You know, all of these are questions that you're going to have to face when you make your own short film. And the only way to solve these problems is to do it. All of these things will make you a better filmmaker, which in addition makes you a better animator, because you understand the broader picture that goes to make up an animated film. So here at Animation Apprentice, and also in my work at Escape Studios, we strongly recommend doing short films. It's top of the agenda. However, it's important to recognize that it's not really, in the current climate, unless you can get a ton of hits in YouTube, and we're talking, you know, hundreds of thousands or even millions, it's not really yet a business proposition. So how can I help you to become a professional animator? First of all, subscribe to my YouTube channel, get all my free stuff. Secondly, if you want to get started now, sign up for my course at animationapprentice.org or come study with me at Escape Studios, or sign up for the online MA in 3D animation at Bucks New University.